Hello everybody, I am standing in front of the monument to the story of the Aztecs, and I'm here to talk to you about how the Aztecs got to Mexico City, at least a little bit about their journey here in the Valley of Mexico. According to the legend, in about the year 1200, the wandering nomads called the Aztecs came from the mythical land of Aztlan, which was somewhere near a cave and then an island, and then they were told to look for the place that had the eagle with the serpent in its mouth. And that is of course here in Mexico City. But the story is actually a little bit longer than that, and so I'd like to take you for a little bit of a story here, and we're going to go along on this route where we go to different sites. The Aztecs didn't first settle here. There is evidence that they settled in other places as well. So come along for the adventure and we'll go check out some early Aztec sites here in the Valley of Mexico. Driving along La Union Street here, we're underneath the elevated metro system here, and you can see all these monuments to famous Mexicans. You have Pancho Villa over there, you have Carmen Cerdán, you have Plotilca Calles, so just all these different colorful monuments to famous Mexicans here. We are here in Tenayuca, which is an old Chichimeca early Aztec pyramid known as the Temple of the Snakes, and you can see the snakes behind me all in a row. We'll take a walk around here. Unfortunately it's closed because it's a Monday, but we can see from the outside the different snakes on the outside. No one knows exactly when Tenayuca was established, but we do know that it had people since at least the year 1200. The settlement is important because it was a Chichimeca capital, and they had lots of power when the Aztecs first came into the region. The buildings show some important elements of Toltec style building, which include snakes, multi-layered buildings, and a main temple with two temples on top of it. Eventually, in the late 14th century, the Aztecs conquered the city and incorporated it as one of their own. The area was also very close to an ancient rock quarry, and it is believed that many of the stones that built the Aztec Templo Mayor came from this area. We're selling flags in front of the main temple here. You can see the main temple. This would have been the front of the temple with the double altars. One on the right for Huitzilopochtli, and what was the one on the left?
Tlaloc.
Tlaloc, the god of water and wisdom. The front of the St. Judas Temple, you can tell looking at the stones. These stones were made from the stones over there at the Tenayuca pyramid. And that's how they would do it back in the day. They would slowly tear down a pyramid and then they would make a church out of it. So that's what's going on here. As the Aztecs slowly conquered the lake known as Texcoco, they built little islands known as chinampas and took advantage of the smaller islands that were already established on the lake. They built a series of bridges and canals that connected everything together. We are here in the neighborhood of Santa Cecilia, and we are towards the north of the city of Mexico, and looks like it's market day here in the city, and we are looking for the first definitive pyramid of the Aztecs, so we're going to go check that out. We are here in front of the pyramid of Santa Cecilia. So this is the first known pyramid that was made by the Aztecs. You only see one here, but you can see on the left there would have been another altar. There would have been two altars. The one on the left has been destroyed and is only halfway up, and then the other one has been preserved. And if you want to know what happened to the second altar there, that second altar is right here. They made it into the church building here. So the church building is what used to be that second altar. If you notice, you can even see right there that that there's a change in brick. So you can see the first layer of brick there is different from the top layer. So that's what it is. And if you get close up on some of these bricks over here, I'm gonna go up close over here to the bridge. You can see that there was hieroglyphs on these stones. They're kind of faded now, but that's what they were. We'll go around to the front and see if we can see some more. Can't go onto the pyramid right now, so what I'm doing is I'm gonna just walk around this neighborhood and see what else I can find here. There's a museum here that's not open called the Museum to Sculpture. We can see a few in there. We can see a skull sculpture in there, so that's kind of cool. We'll walk around and see if we can go to the church building here. You can tell that this is a really old church because they had a defensive perimeter wall on this. You see that a lot. Even though they were conquered, they weren't quite settled in the beginning, so that was going on here. It's like here in Santa Cecilia, they're having church services outside, probably because of COVID. But we can still see some of the close-up views here of the little church building. Eventually, the Aztecs traveled towards the center of the lake and established what is now known as the Templo Mayor. This is a recreation of what Acatitlan would look like. Over here, you can see that little island that we were at before. So this would have been where the little island of Tenayuca was, and that would have gone to the main road, which led you to the main plaza over there. I'm standing now in front of the Templo Mayor, which is the main temple for the Aztecs. Here they would have a double pyramid. Behind me, we are looking at the ruins, but it would be much taller than this, probably much taller than these buildings over here. Kind of like what we saw in the Zocalo area there. And there would be one temple dedicated for Huitzilopochtli, which was the god of war, and then one for Tlaloc, which was the god of rain. So those were the two main temples here. Go check out the city museum. So this is a museum for the city of Mexico, which in of itself is an interesting building. Very old painting from 1525 of Hernan Cortez. So this would have been right after he conquered Mexico City. And then here's a more modern interpretation of Cuauhtémoc. Cuauhtémoc was the last Aztec emperor who was hung. His name means fallen eagle. When the Spaniards came, they destroyed everything, and what they didn't destroy, disease killed off. The Spanish literally built the city of Mexico right on top of the Aztec ruins. And if you know where to look, you can still see the old ruins literally underneath the city today. On the street República Argentina, and over here is a cool demonstration. Underneath this glass here, you can see, hopefully we can see the remains of the temple here. Let's see if we can look inside really quick. So there you can see the remains of the temple. Looks like they're doing some studies down there. Very interesting. So this is where we end our journey here at the backdrop of a reconstructed temple in front of the National Palace. This kind of gives you an idea of what the final palace would look like in the Aztecs' day. Thank you for joining me on this video adventure. It was fun. Hope you enjoyed and looked at some of the sites. We'll see you on the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't, and thank you for watching.